morning, everyone. Welcome to our regular podcast, Knowledge Empowers. And with you, as always, is me, Kat. 안녕하세요. And then we have Baruch.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we have Kolaj.
Dobre ráno. Good morning, everyone.
Kolaj had a pure 8 hours of sleep, which is unbelievable.
Yay.
Celebration.
Yeah, I just realized how much I miss my sleep, so...
I'm gonna say this super funny word, chukanda. And it means congratulations, and it's only funny for Slovak people. Okie doke.
Chukanda forever.
Exactly. Oh my god. Okay, Kolaj, give us 3 fun facts.
I'm gonna touch the topics we've talked last week, and I think that we should know more about those. So first of them is that we've mentioned that we are jealous of people who go for smoking, that they have a break and can talk to people. Now there is a Japanese company which wants to somehow give back to non-smokers. So they give them 6 days of vacation extra compared to non-smokers.
Oh, nice.
So
okay, I have a problem. I have 25 days of vacation and I can hardly spend it. So giving me 16... Having extra 6 is like, no.
Yeah. So
maybe they should give like 1 hour extra of free time per day, or half an hour. Yeah, half an hour, like reduce the working time per day.
Especially in Japan, where you work like very long hours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll see how the recommendations of the company will rise or go down, depending on this new benefit.
And it's also funny because in Japan, even if you have 100 vacation days, nobody expects you to take all of them. So actually, everybody expects to take as little as possible, especially the companies.
Oh.
Welcome to Japan. And that's why they don't have kids.
Exactly.
Okay.
One of the reasons, for sure.
Let's go. Fact number 2.
Fact number 2 is that we've talked about alpha wolves and omega wolves. And probably we've all seen the picture where there is a line of wolves traveling through snow, you know, and talking that these 3 are primer alpha males protecting, and this is the last one who is like the last wolf, and blah, blah, blah. The thing is that all these alpha and beta and omega, when it comes to wolves, is false. And it was a wrong misinterpretation of a study. Basically, there are not any alpha wolves because the dominance or the leading of the pack is given to the most senior wolf. They get this position by breeding, so being there as a parent.
It's interesting. I've heard similar thing about dogs, that, you know, there are a lot of theories saying like if you need your dog to respect you, you must act like alpha in a pack. But this was also disproved. But they still need to find out like why some dogs respect you, or some dogs respect some people and some don't. So
I am imagining Becky, who is scared of everything.
but she respects you. Like when you give her a command, she would listen to you, right? But she wouldn't listen many other people.
But that's because of the training, I think.
And training, and there is a codependence or dependence in this case. You get this also from the training of foxes. There is an experiment with foxes. With wolves, or actually from wolves to dogs, there is more of the oxytocin, if I remember well. And that oxytocin actually shapes how some animal works, in this case, dog or foxes or wolves, how it all transforms. So yeah, I think that this is also responsible why dog is more listening to humans.
Yeah, it's like when Michal needs something from Becky, he goes, "Where's Mama?" And then she does it. Where's Mama?
She walks to you. Yeah.
Becky, where's Mama? And number 3. What's the number 3?
So it's about winter, you know, or weather outside. and season coming, actually. And now I want to ask you, when is the shortest day?
Wasn't it like 14th of December? No, shortest day. Sorry.
Shortest day. The longest night or the shortest day is on 21st December. But what's different is that it's not the latest sunrise or soonest sunset. Like, it's getting dark sooner in other days or brighter in other days because of the longitude, latitude stuff, how Earth is actually, a ball, and how the sun is, how we are rotating around the sun. So the earliest sunset is not on 21st of December, but before winter solstice. So it could be that it's the 14th December, Baruch, that's what you mentioned. Like, it starts to be dark much sooner, or the soonest, actually.
Okay, so we are only talking about our country.
Sunrise, sunset. Yeah, across the globe, it's a different day all the time on every longitude. So the more close you are to the South Pole or North Pole, to the poles, that's when actually it's getting closer to the 21st. So the 14th December could be that it's the earliest sunset for us as a Slovakia.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, and the same goes for actually summer solstice.
I cannot wait for summer.
For me to
I cannot wait for Christmas.
Okie doke. What's ahead of us today? So I wanted to talk a little bit about risk management. So I was once on an education on agile strategy something, and there was this little piece, that one picture on risk management, and I loved it, and ever since I keep using it. So what do you understand, guys, under if I say risk management? Managing risks?
Risk mitigation. Yeah.
How to avoid all the boo-boos.
Exactly. So let's deep dive into an example. That's the best things to do. So me and Baruch are gonna fly to Korea.
Yay.
And so let's just start first with, we need to buy the tickets, right? Flight tickets. We need to make a decision which dates we want to fly, for how long we want to fly. Do we need to book vacation days, and so on and so forth. So we had to write down first these steps, right? What needs to be done. And then for each of these facts, like buy ticket, book the dates, etc., you can then start sort of discussing what could go wrong, right? So if we talk about the flight ticket, so of course, the first thing we are discussing is the price. How much money? Because it's two of us. So for me can be, I'm okay with direct flight, 1,000 euro, and Baruch can say, wait, I'm not making that much money. I will not invest 1,000 euro. And so we already need to negotiate, stuff. So that's, for example, one. But also with flight tickets, it's not only, okay, now we're going to buy them, but then insurance towards the flight tickets. And especially these days when we have COVID and stuff, so the flight can be canceled, etc. And if you invest 1,000 euro, that's a pretty much money, so you don't want to lose it. So what kind of insurances you have to get the money back? So then again, me and Baruch, we have to sit together. Are you okay to invest? And then you pay. Then you literally write down also, like if you're buying the tickets, what could go wrong. So for example, flight can be canceled. For example, that ticket doesn't cover your luggage. So it might be cost on top. So you write down again all of these things, and then you start preparing scenarios how you could fix it. So in case of what if I would get COVID, or what if I would broke my leg, or what if, okay, for that we can have an insurance, right? So we can insure the ticket. If there is, for example, the ticket doesn't cover the luggage, okay, let's figure out how much is the luggage, and then am I willing to pay for that, or will I be okay for 2 weeks just with the hand luggage? And so literally you're building up all the potential solutions for these potential problems, right? Because they may occur, they might not occur. And also, let's think about it. If you fly over, what if they lose your luggage? It did happen to me, and I haven't seen my luggage for 4 weeks. So
But you did see it.
yeah, after 4 weeks, that's true. And so again, like what can, if that happens, what kind of solution you can build up for that? In that case, just a very
But you
quick...
can't prepare for everything. But you can't prepare for everything, right?
Correct, you can't. Let me just finish this one. So in case they will lose your luggage, guys, always whatever you are bringing with you up to the airport, make sure you put you grab like a toothbrush, additional knickers or boxers, one t-shirt and one shorts, just in case. It's really relevant. And with this sort of a system, to answer, College, your statement or a question is, no, you cannot think of everything that can happen, but it helps you really calm down, because you already have, let's say, potential solution for really many artifacts or facts. And then in case something does happen, you are not in such a huge stress, because you can actually multiply the potential solution you already prepared for the other items, and you would just choose, oh, that solution can fit this. So it's very similar when me and Michal traveling, and I am very calm person. I'm like, whatever, and I only deal with things once they happen. Anything before, I'm like, not gonna deal with it. And when we traveled to Hawaii and we arrived to Seattle, and that's where we found out the luggage has been lost, Michal went like, what are we going to do? Stress. And I'm like, just calm down. Let's figure out. Let's talk to this person and we'll see. And let's go step by step. We don't need to put ourselves in a stress. And he always says he likes that about me, because it's enough that one person is in stress. Don't have to have two. But it calms him down as well, because and preparing yourself like this, then you already know that you have numerous potential solutions as a backup plan. And if something ad hoc happens, your brain is not overflowing with information, because you know you're calm because you have that backup plan. And so you just pick that specific solution that would fit you. And you can apply this to any project, anything. Just sit down and you basically start with what's your target, and you go backwards to the beginning.
Yeah, so you basically break down the project or any task you have at hand based on the work you need to do, or tasks ahead of you, or some milestones maybe which you need to do, which you need to achieve. And then you look on ways how it probably can not happen. So like, what are the obstacles on the way?
Correct.
And
what could be the roadblockers?
Roadblockers, yeah. And then you actually prioritize or think about the most important and the most frequent ones, or like the highest impact of the risk. Like, okay, they lose my baggage. Is it really that important for me that I'm not going to enjoy the vacation? Yes, probably. On scale from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, it's really important. And what is the possibility, of course? So like, you've flown, you have the experience that you flew, like, for example, 20 times, and out of those 20 times, it happened once or not at all. So, you know, like, what is the what are the odds then?
Or you will learn things that if you arrive to Hawaii and it's December, and even though there is 31 degrees, beautiful summer, but because it's December and because they are on the north hemisphere of the world, and you come to the shops, they sell winter clothes. And you are looking at the shop assistant and you go, excuse me, we are in Hawaii, 31 degrees outside. Why are you selling gloves? Like, when was the snow in Hawaii? Wasn't. And so I'm like, who is buying these? And we go back to the Japanese. I'm like, what? So it's important. Like, in this case, like, it took us like 4 days to find a shop to buy shorts. So that was really big lessons learned for us to, ever since then, we always have just a hand carriage with very specific cloth items, and that's it. And we can survive like this for 4 weeks with no problem.
And I would highlight again what Kolach said, like how important this is on a scale from, let's say, 1 to 5. So if something, or maybe even I would look at it a little bit differently. What's the impact if it happens? It could be terrible at that moment, but eventually you found out like there is such an easy solution to whatever the risk is, that it's not even worth, investing a lot of effort or time into managing that risk.
As an example, the luggage can only have 23 kilos, right? And suddenly you come to the airport and they weighed it and it's like 24, and they will tell you, okay, one item needs to go out. So think of this way before you even come to the airport, so you can either not take as many stuff, because once you're at the airport then you are thinking, okay, am I going to throw one of my things away? Or you can still reshuffle, and it's good to travel with more people than just by yourself, because then you can either put that item into your bag that you're taking up, or you can give that item to your friend because that friend has not that many stuff. So it's things like this. So, right, imagine that suddenly you have all your favorite clothes in your luggage, and the staff at the airport tell you 1 kilo needs to go away, and you go, no, I'm not gonna throw my Adidas away or whatever, this luxurious brand. No. So yeah.
Since we are talking about risks and they need a lot of thinking, I would recommend this book from Adam Grant, Think Again. It's a really great book for how to stop from thinking in the same patterns and rethink your ideas, rethink how you behave, rethink how you communicate. And from why it's connected to the risks, or how it's connected to me, is that at the opening there is a story about firefighters who parachute to the fire. So it's about, like those in the hills. And there is a story of specific group which most of them didn't survive, and they actually burned within the fire, except the one person who at the moment stopped and created a new solution how to avoid the fire. Everybody was looking at him like if he's crazy, but thanks to his new invention, or not invention, but his new attitude, he survived compared to the rest of the group. So it was a huge way how to assess the risks, how to stop for a moment and rethink your situation. And that's really like what we were talking about the risk. So go for that. I recommend it's not the shortest, not the longest ones, but Adam is writing a great detailed stories and also adding additional actually like surveys and data behind it. So it's not just storytelling, but actually research is behind those stories as well. So it's a nice connection between those two.
Thanks for recommendation.
감사합니다.
Now going to projects at work in corporate world. What are the two most common and most impactful risks, or actually like issues happening on projects?
For me, it's payment of external people or external things, because you have specific procedures in each company. And suddenly if the third party tells you, I'm not able to do this, I'm doing this, but your company doesn't do it, and you need to figure out. That's currently happening to me right now. Even though I communicated it in advance, all the options, we agreed on one, and suddenly it's not valid anymore. And I'm like, and now what? So
to me, it's like unclear communication.
So two of those are change of requirements and change of a member in the team.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense.
So those are like the two most common risks you need to prepare, or like you need to get a hold of those, because change of requirements, that's an unclear communication, that's change of something within the system, and that happens a lot. And the other one is that they give you or take you a member, and you need to reshuffle, readjust, and do it again.
So to sum it up, think of all the potential roadblocks, think of the potential solution. Yes, you might not come up with every single solution, but it will calm you down. And then if something ad hoc happens, your brain is much clearer and can focus on that one thing. But in other words, don't get stressed. There are always other solutions for everything. Or as my tattoos say, silver lining. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And so with that, I'm going to say 수고하셨습니다.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.